Hello, we have with us Rehan Yar, active angel investor and also the founder of Surat 2000. Rehan, thank you for talking to VC Circle.
Thank you.
One would really want to know the entire idea behind floating gold box and you already have Surat 2000. People tend to think that they're two different ventures. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Sure. So Flora is for the US market. It's for people in America who want to send flowers overseas. And because there's a very large diaspora in the United States, Mexican community, Brazilian community, of course Indian community, many diasporas, they want to send back to their parents and their family. So it really focuses on that and targets all their occasions. It's the only player in that space in the United States. All the other competitors are domestic players. It was not for the Indian market because when I started it, there was hardly any Indian market. Now we've sort of come full circle. Absolutely. And we've launched our gifting venture here in India.
Sure, yeah.
So gold box is for the Indian market, but in India, flowers is not a top 10 gifting item. Like gourmet baskets, chocolates, cakes, apparel. These are your leading gifting products. So when we wanted to come to India, we had to come up with a different lineup. We couldn't come with flowers. So that's the idea of gold box.
But do you think it's a good time to have a gifting portal in India, an e-commerce play, given the kind of negative sentiment around the sector?
There is negative sentiment. Most of the companies which have come in India have been, guys that just take a product and sell it online. So they end up with very small margin. And then when you have very small margin, then you have to, cost of acquisitions, you end up with absolutely no bottom line. But companies which tend to value add, like, you're seeing e-brands, like for example, ShareSaing, or, which have their own brand. Or which is incidentally my portfolio company, or what we do at Flora 2000, which is again a proprietary product, or what we do in Gold Box, which is package all those products beautifully. So it's not just perfumes that you can buy on Gold Box. We have a perfume collection, but that perfume will come beautiful packaging. So it'll be a hamper that will be made out of it. And our team is actually specialized in creating proprietary gifts. So we are adding a lot of proprietary value to it. So whenever you add proprietary value, you tend to get very good margins. You tend to get brand. You get loyalty. Whereas if I'm just doing vanilla product, right? If I'm just selling Adidas online, then all the 4 or 5 guys which are selling in Adidas online will, wherever you have the coupon from or whatever, you just buy from those guys. There tends to be less loyalty.
Interesting. So what you're telling me is that it's about creating a brand online.
Absolutely.
Perhaps what companies are doing with creating a private label brand, for instance, free culture and these sort of things that they're foraying into. Talking about that also, do you think how easy it is in India to do that?
So in the brand space in India, in the garment brand space, there's a lot of opportunity. If you look at the Indian story, we have essentially begun the second industrial revolution without completing the first industrial revolution. So if you see what happened in phones, without having copper phones, in India you straight away had mobile phones. So similarly with brands, the brands will not come to the stores. They'll come online. Name an Indian sportswear brand. It's like nothing, right? So there's your space, right? So brand space for that exists. So if I come and create a brand today, I won't open a chain of stores for it, I'll just create it online. So that's what's happening. So the opportunity is to create some amazing brands in India.
So what's the initial traction that you're seeing with Gold Box?
Gold Box is very young. In fact, we haven't started even promoting it, we haven't started advertising. What we're doing is we're just getting the logistics and all that system in place, and from Diwali onwards we hope to start promoting it. So right now we are just in that phase of setting it up. It's pretty complex in India to get it going, and you don't want returns and quality issues. We've entered the Indian market for the first time. We kind of just made the site live about 4 or 5 months ago, and it's doing about 15-20 orders a day right now.
Are you nervous, considering given operating in the Indian market, which actually?
Yeah, I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous operating in the Indian market because ticket sizes are very low. They're used to very high ticket sizes in the United States. The Indian logistics infrastructure is making me very nervous. So yes, I'm very nervous.
What is your plan to risk yourself then?
Well, we'll have to. So Gold Box for us, Flora is of course our bread and butter. It's our 99.99% of our business. Gold Box is something we have a lot of ambitions for. We think the Indian market is coming. We feel the Indian consumer has, just like any other product, the need to send gifts, and there are a lot of gifting occasions, Diwali, birthdays, As people live more and more in metros and away from their families, they want to send gifts back home.
Absolutely.
So we've seen this happen in the United States. So we think there's a good opportunity for it. It's really a question of getting the quality right.
So how much do you mean to leverage Flora for Gold Box? I'm sure there are plans in that direction, given that it's your primary and mother brand.
We brought all the software from Flora into Goldbox. We brought a lot of the learnings, of course, of how to manage products, how to brand. From Flora, we brought a lot of good team members. We brought 2 critical team members from the Flora team into the Goldbox team. So yeah, there is, of course, a lot of crossover and hand-holding for a group company.
Flora is essentially the cash cow for you. What's the plan of perhaps exiting it or transitioning out of Flora anytime soon?
So I have already personally transitioned out of Flora. We have a CEO that runs Flora. As an entrepreneur, you always have exit opportunities that where you're talking to various companies. As you know, in the floral space, there are a lot of floral majors in the United States. There are listed companies. In Europe as well, there are a lot of e-commerce companies. Which are potential. With whom we may be, there are opportunities to merge. It's very early to say, what we want to do. We're growing really well in Flora. We see a lot of opportunity for Goldbox. So while we never say never, there's no pressure on us to exit.
Absolutely.
And we're enjoying ourselves there still.
Sure. You're also a very active angel investor. And given that what we are going through in the venture and early stage space, very interesting times.
Sure.
Almost, one deal happens every day.
Okay.
And, as a journalist, tracking that industry, you sort of feel nervous that, are we seeing some sort of a bubble, being built up on the seed stage?
So I was at the Super Angel conference, I think it was in January or late December last year. The general consensus at that conference was, and this came in the post-conference notes also, that only 66 companies were funded last year. In a country of 1.2 billion people, and out of which, you have 600 million people which are being reached by media, television and, other forms of media. I think 100, 200, 300 companies is nothing. We are just seeing, a very nascent industry for a very large population. All the IITs have incubators. There are amazing engineers coming out of there. We're getting a, very large internet population in India. We're seeing malls. We're seeing all kinds of things. So I think, a few hundred companies. It's nothing. It's a drop in the ocean for a country of our size. I think we're not going to see these problems of overcrowding in the space. Far from it.
Yeah, while there's an opportunity, there's an appetite. What about returns ultimately, which the VC and the early stage community has to make for its clients, right? So how does that actually function when you are in this entire competition of just putting capital to work?
I think we are, strangely in India, our industry developed in reverse. So we had first, then we used to have the most Ps. Then you have fewer VCs and you have almost no seed funds. It's a very odd, kind of an odd-shaped funnel, right? So I think, the kind of entrepreneurs that came up and, to the PE guys, and there have been a lot of issues with that, which I've heard from my peers, it's because these guys have not been groomed through the pipeline. I think the kind of guys that we are sending up now are going to be very high quality. And a lot of these kind of issues in the 4 to 5 years' time that we've been hearing from the PE industry, they'll probably change.
So you tend to think that it will mitigate at your level, the seed stage angel investing level?
Sure, they'll be very well groomed. It's
so the PE guys to come in at that.
Yes, a lot of fundamentals would have been set into place. There'll be a lot of filtration, a lot of education. So they're going to receive a very high quality pipeline going forward.
So while you're nervous about, operating in India, floating a company in India, you don't seem to be nervous about investing in Indian companies. Why is that?
No, that's so what happens is that I am nervous about it. I'm nervous about the same issues that we are nervous about at Goldbox. Low ticket size, similar cost of acquisition. AdWords are not cheaper for India, for example, than they are in the United States. Similar price, but low ticket size. There are a lot of these kind of issues. So yes, a lot of these concerns are there. If you look at my portfolio of investments, I've stayed away from any vanilla e-commerce companies. We don't have any. We have a lot of e-brands investment. To Cherish Maternity recently, was sharing, a few others in that space. So really brand, continue to focus on those fundamentals.
So how is Share coming along for you as a portfolio investment?
I think it's a great. I think it's a very good company. It's led by a very good team. Great product.
But the concerns were exclusively that they're shutting down and Share consolidating.
I think it was misread by the media. What they did is they very smartly pivoted out of that into becoming a brand. Because if the brands don't exist, what do you sell as an aggregator? So, it's a very smart pivot for them to a brand versus being an aggregator. And I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to, as any good company, they were trying to sell off that asset to a buyer who wanted to make something out of it. For some reason it got perceived in India, I don't know why selling something sometimes is perceived as a bad thing.
It's distressed.
But it wasn't. They started focusing on this and they didn't want to focus on that. It was as simple as that. You control quality, you have brand loyalty, you have a differentiator, you have massive opportunity.
So does that go to say that e-commerce in India, that's the next level for e-commerce companies in India to focus on building their own brands rather than being aggregators?
I think yes, absolutely. I think that is the opportunity in India is to create brands, is to create something proprietary. Right? Just buying and selling
doesn't work.
I mean, how much IP can you build in that, right? How much proprietary stuff can you build in that? I mean, Flipkart, etc. have done a great job in building delivery network and warehousing, etc. But that's about it. But I think there's a huge brand opportunity.
E-commerce suddenly seems to have become a bad word. Is there anything fundamentally wrong about e-commerce than the general negative investment about the space? What is playing the sector?
Well, first of all, I think these companies are great, right? So I've started buying all my FMCG products from Flipkart of late, right? So I bought deodorants and I bought this thing. That's great. And they're able to deliver it, and they're able to deliver it within a day. I think they're bringing about a revolution in India as to the way people shop. I think it's too early to, make judgments whether it has won or it has failed or what has happened. I think we've been too quick to judge them. I think these guys are doing very well. I think
it's too early?
Way too early. Way too early to pass judgment on what these companies are doing. I think the e-commerce story has a long way to go. My portfolio is actually, though my portfolio has done very well, it's about only 4 years old. I started in 2008. And I think for companies to reach their potential, it's going to take 7 years. That said, I can see, without naming them, I can see 3 companies which are already at 50-60x, just based on the next round of valuation that they've received.
Interesting. So, significant markup.
Significant, yeah. We came in at 1 million and these companies have 60, 70, $100 million valuations now. So,
angel investing has really worked for you.
Angel investing has really worked for me. E-commerce has really worked for me.
What is your message to entrepreneurs who really like watching this?
So what is before you start? Speak to a lot of people, right? So you can tweak your model before you start, right? A lot of people do it after they start, but then remember, after you start, you're burning. So do it before you start. So that's one thing. The second thing is think about IP, right? A lot of people don't think about that. They think about buying and selling. They don't think about what am I going to create proprietary? Like, hey, I'm going to have same-day delivery, or I'm going to have my own brand, or I'm going to have special sourcing from China, which is going to be very lean, or I'm going to be able to manufacture something in Jalandhar. So think proprietary. Number 3 is think LTV, lifetime value. So a lot of people think, hey, entrepreneurs, they think product. I'm going to make this cool product, man. But they don't think what will keep the person coming back. They think, offers will make the person coming back. So it's not offers that make a person coming back, it's different products. So if you are going to be, garments is a category where you will have a lot of repeat. It's that kind of category, right? Because you buy a lot of clothes. But a lot of other categories, how many cell phones will you sell somebody? So if you have the coolest cell phone site, what will I do with that? So you got to think LTV. What will make people come back? And then choose your name accordingly, right? So don't just call yourself mobilephones.com, because that's why Amazon was Amazon.com. I started with books. It was a cool entry category. It's a low ticket product. It's a kind of a brand. The author is the brand. I know what I'm getting. I start my relationship with the company, with Amazon, and they do a great job there. Then maybe I buy a camera from them, and I buy something else from them.
Then explains gold box and not a flower site.
yeah. So multi-category, yeah. So think through these 3 things.
Thank you, Rehan. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.